higher than a C this semester. That's my goal.
You got a C last semester? Oh, Dr. Stain, I'm getting a D in here.
That's just because I died on the final.
Yeah,
There's no way I'm gonna do well.
she did very well until she got to the final. She had to.
Solid A, and then I got to the final and it just died.
I don't have fire like this.
I'm sorry, I was so awfully in this class.
Okay.
No, but it made me cry.
So the angle of elevation from the top of a house to a jet flying 14 miles above the house is x radians. If d represents the horizontal distance in miles of the jet from the house, express d as a trigonometric function of x, then graph the function. So here's a house. That doesn't work. House. Here's Alona standing on top of the house.
Draw my bushy hair. Perfect.
You look like a unicorn.
That's what I am.
You gotta do. Okay. So there's the airplane that Alona sees.
So she's on top of that house.
She's on top of the house.
Why are you on top of the house, Alana?
Oh, where'd it go?
Okay, just so it'll be back. So D is horizontal distance and X is vertical. Okay. Okay.
I remember we got on top of Norm and we saw the cave in my freshman year.
And
I should say that.
what does it want? It wants to know D in terms of X. So we want to get D by itself. So which trig function has, okay, so we have no hypotenuse. We have opposite and adjacent. Which one has opposite and adjacent in it? Tangent.
And what?
So tangent of theta is opposite over adjacent, right? Mm-hmm. And it said find D. So D is X over tangent of theta. What's another word for over tangent of theta?
I don't really know
It's COT.
Yeah, cotangent of theta.
No, COT.
All right, so D should be X cotangent of theta, which is that one. Oh, okay.
Oh my gosh.
I had a brain fart. I'm so sorry. But I got it right now.
Kind of wrote down the problem wrong, but okay, cotangent looks like that one, right?
Yes.
I felt funny.
Why is there dirt under your seat?
It's probably from my shooting.
Why do you have dirt on your seat?
Because we let me just down at the man yesterday.
She has some dirty hobbies.
Ew.
Yeah, I went over there one time to watch people catch the cows, and I wore like socks and sandals, and my socks were so disgusting.
Mm-hmm. You just burn them.
I should have thrown them.
Yeah. Okay, the equation for the blue curve. Okay, so which one? So it looks like it has a asymptote at 5 pi over 6, and then another one at 5 pi over 2.
Yes. I think so. Yeah. Shannon's no secret.
I like where you're going with the secant.
It looked like a side.
Or also one over the side.
Well, okay, so let's start with the beginning. We know it has secant in it. What about number out front? Do we need a number out front?
Plus, and then
Really?
Jane said that we need plus 1.
I was going to make the picture bigger, but it's okay. There we go.
Whoa.
So it looks like the bottom is at 2. The top of the other one's at -2. So do we need to add anything to move it up and down, or 2? What about this 2? I like 2, but what do you want? Yes, we need to multiply secant by 2.
So 2 out.
Good job, Angel.
I know. That's what's
So 2 secant. Actually, I guess I should say y equals because it wants an equation. Okay, secant. Where are the asymptotes usually at for secant?
1,
what's that? Well, there.
and then when he doesn't acknowledge me, it's more wrong.
Yeah.
Zero.
Okay, where is cosine 0 at?
Pi.
As a 1.
0 and pi.
Cosine 0 is at 1, which is 5.
Okay,
What
That's
are
what
you?
it said.
I
I
said,
don't really know what you're looking for here.
okay,
Wait.
where is cosine equal to 0? Because secant is 1 over
Let
cosine.
me get to my unit.
So where cosine is 0 is also where secant has an
Oh, pi
asymptote.
over 2 and then
Yes.
3 pi over 2.
Oh.
Yeah, so my asymptotes normally are going to be at pi over 2, at 3 pi over 2. Where are they in this picture?
I'm not, I'm not.
Oh, 5 pi over 6, 5 pi over 2.
5 pi over 6 and 5 pi over 2. Work! There we go. 5 pi over 6,
Work,
5 pi over 2. Hmm. 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 How are we going to do that? How are we going to change pi over 2 to 5 pi over 6?
I don't know, Dr. Shane, guys.
And change 3 pi over 2 to 5 pi over 2.
Well, you took away
There's
2
a 5
to
in
get.
common.
Wait,
There's
you
a 5
added-
in common. I like that.
And we only have 1, 2 in the denominator.
So what if I go times 5 over 3? Pi over 2 times 5 over 3 is 5 pi over 6. 3 pi over 2 times 5 over 3 is 5 pi over 2.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
Look at, how'd you do that? How'd you know?
Magic,
Write that
he's a
down,
witch.
else I'm gonna be-
Well, I mean, if you look at the picture, I mean, it looks like secant, except two things are screwed up. One is it doesn't go down to 1 and up to -1. It goes down to 2. So that means we stretched it vertically. To stretch it vertically, we put a 2 out front. The other thing is the asymptotes aren't in the right place. It's like the whole thing has been squished, right? To squish, we multiply the x by some number, right? So I'm trying to figure out what number are we multiplying x by. So I just looked at the asymptotes. It's like, okay, instead of being at pi over 2, it's at 5 pi over 6. Next one, instead of being 3 pi over 2, it's at 5 pi over 2.
Jeez.
So what do I multiply if I want to get those? Well, I multiply by
5 pi over 2.
Sorry.
5 over 3. So this would be 5 x
I tried like putting the short
over 3.
I put 5 and pi.
You have to do backslash.
Pi.
All the shortcuts in Math Excel need backslashes.
Usually I used to just put pi and it changes it.
It just doesn't love you anymore.
Stop taking your crap.
Is that right? That is not right.
I remember in high school, I was like, Mr. Hogg.
This is where my listexia comes in.
But you're wrong.
3 over 5.
Whoa.
Okay. So the last step was to double check myself. I started off with 5x over 3. I thought, okay, if I plug in x is 5 pi over 6, do I get pi over 2? No, I don't. I must have it backwards. So now if I plug in 5 pi over 6 for x, I get pi over 2. So I know this must be the right way around.
Well done.
That was hard. Let's do another one like that. Let's hit next question.
Why?
Sis, what?
Nothing. I said nothing.
Did she say?
I said why.
Oh, I thought you said F my line. I'm like,
No.
Michaela,
No.
we're in class.
All right.
How do exactly.
So this is easier because they describe this as the important thing. Okay, when you see the -3 to 3 or whatever, what does that tell you about a number out front?
If I'm out front, it's going to be 3.
Yeah, and they say they want cosecant, so cosecant.
Period. 7.
The period is 7 pi. What's usually the period of cosecant?
How would it?
Not sure.
Yeah, 2 pi. They're all 2 pi except for tangent and cotangent. Tangent and cotangent are just pi.
Oh,
All the rest of them are 2 pi.
I knew that better.
So if I want to stretch a 2 pi into a 7 pi, I just put 2 sevens. Bless you.
Oh, you're gonna put
bless
pi.
you.
No, I didn't put pi in the last one either. I wasn't sure why you got so obsessed with the lack of pi, but
Nice work.
yay.
Oh my god, that sounds so good right now. We definitely got a cheesecake.
Really?
Did you eat it all, Angel?
No.
Well, cheesecake probably makes my heart hurt in a different way. Well, my mom had a heart attack at age 54 or 6. 6?
Dang, that's young.
Yeah. Her dad actually died of a heart attack at 58. So we were all happy when she came through that it was all okay. But it was, well, I can tell you what it was because it was my first year here, so 7 years ago, which, okay, 2000, this would have been 2009 minus 52. She would have been 57.
Does your diet affect, like, if you're going to have a heart attack or not?
I'm sure it does.
You need to stop eating pizza every day.
The way I see it is I've had cursed with heart troubles anyway. I might as well enjoy my life until that day comes.
Come back in like 20 years and be like, that's my math teacher over there. And you're still like trucking around.
Okay.
Not like,
Amen.
not alright here.
So-
I'm just saying.
This one, they were kind enough to give us the picture. So that's the picture of inverse sine. So if you want to do x minus 5 and then minus pi over 4, what's the minus pi over 4 going to do the picture?
Lift it down.
Yeah, shift it down pi over 4. What's the x minus 5 going to do?
Shift it to the right.
Yes. So we're going to go right 5 down pi over 4, which is that one. Did you not like that, Alana? Okay.
That was easy.
Oh, that was easy. You did like it. Okay. You lied. You told me you didn't like it.
Dr. Sam,
Yes.
this question's not over.
Oh. I was about to say, what? Oh, press continue to see more. I did that in physics this morning too. One of the people were like, didn't that question have 3 parts? Well, I'm not going back to it now. So. What's the domain of this function? Okay, well, inverse sine went from -1 to 1. If we shift that, okay, so I guess I should say, first of all, domain is x or y?
X.
X, right? If I look at the original picture, x went from -1 to 1. So if I shift it to the right by 5, where does it go?
It's going to go to 4 and 5, 6.
6, from 4 to 6. Good job. All right.
Boo.
And then the range is y. The range went from minus pi over 2 to pi over 2. If I shift it down pi over 4, where do I wind up?
I'll
Pi over 8.
be
Okay.
5 over 4 to
Mhm.
would it be the 5 over 4?
Okay. So this one, if I go down pi over 4, I make it to pi over 4. If I start at the bottom and go down pi over 4, where do I make it to?
5 over 6? No.
What's a half and a fourth? A half plus a fourth.
Oh.
We're all too.
What's 50 cents and 25 cents? Okay. So
You said what's that?
So 3 pi over 4.
Oh, close.
Close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades.
Kangaroos.
What?
Who said tangerine?
You did.
You
Say
said
kangaroo.
horseshoes and hand grenades.
Oh, I heard tangerine. I thought you said kangaroo and kangaroo.
Okay.
You swear you don't have sleep?
I thought so. I would have seen earlier. It's like,
I might have mentioned I went to the optometrist yesterday. They dilated my eyes.
You better share the picture of your eyes.
Sure, if you want to see it.
I do. I do.
So this was like 3 hours later. They hadn't gone down. So look at.
Oh.
He likes telling me. Oh my gosh, Dr. Sane.
That's spooky.
Straight up look like a demon from hell there.
Yeah.
I am a demon. I did that
Okay.
long Bible study.
Oh Lord.
What is wrong with you?
So you not only spit on pizza, you spit on your mother's Bible study.
No, I went out. We're just
Spit it
sitting
out.
and they're talking. And I'm like,
What?
Okay.
What? What was that?
and
Nearly done, y'all. Let's finish this up. Okay, domain of that function. So what x's can I put into inverse sign? Okay. So again, inverse sign mean, okay, let me go back to the
Where
piece of paper.
sign is that certain value?
Yes. So if I write theta is inverse sine of x, that means,
Sine is X.
yeah, sine theta is x. So if I want to plug an x into inverse sine, that x has to be sine of something. When you do sine of something, what sort of numbers do you get out?
Cos.
Whole numbers.
Positive whole numbers? All real
No.
numbers?
No. Okay. Unit circle. Sine is what in this picture? Sine theta is, where is it in the picture?
Sine theta there would be square root of 2 over 2.
Okay, I'm not looking for a specific number. It's just cosine is the x coordinate. Sine is the y coordinate. Okay, if I look at the whole picture, what's the biggest y coordinate you see on that circle?
1.
1. What's the smallest y coordinate you see on that circle?
Negative one.
Negative 1. So all of the y coordinates are between 1. So sine of anything winds up somewhere between 1 and negative 1, right? So if I want to do inverse sine of anything, I can only do inverse sine of something between negative 1 and 1, right? Okay. So domain is from negative 1 to 1. Boom.
We made that more complicated.
And then what's the range? Well, I take something in negative 1 to 1, I take the inverse sine, I get an angle that's, remember we said the inverse sine, let me pull up the picture again. Okay. So to do inverse functions, you have to do that horizontal line test thing, which if I do horizontal lines, it fails miserably. So to horizontal line test this, I get rid of half the circle. I just do that. Boom. Now it works fine. So inverse sine always gives me a number somewhere between minus pi over 2 and pi over 2. But then it says after I do inverse sine, I'm supposed to take sine of that. So I take the y-coordinate of that, which gets me just back where I started. So, the y-coordinate, so the y-coordinate is going to wind up between negative 1 and 1. Boom. So you'll notice now that you're like big boys and not in algebra anymore, there are some questions like that aren't really like normal problems. They're like, okay, I'm just going to ask you this to see, do you understand what we're talking about or not? So, yeah. Cool. Well, that's pretty well the end of homework 3. Does that make you happy? Or homework 4? Yes, that's the end of homework 4. So, that's a good